Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dr. Ganatra, author of Reinventing Dentistry and creator of Dental Practice Mastery, where we teach you how to build, market, and grow your practice. I'm super amped about this year and I'm so excited about 2015. I wanted to shoot you this video on the 5 key perspectives to have in 2015. You know, there may be some things you want to do this year, some dreams you want to begin, some habits you want to get rid of, or some places you want to be in your business, in your practice, with your team, with your patients, even with your family. I wanted to give you these 5 perspectives that you really got to dive into for 2015, that you really have to integrate into all the rest of your goals. You know, I'm sure there's all this hype about, you know, New Year's resolutions and all that stuff, and those are great, but the thing that really is going to make your goals and your resolutions really fly is if you have a certain perspective or a mindset on what you're infusing into your dreams for 2015. So I figured these 5 perspectives will give you that. You know, they're gonna make you think, they're gonna make you double check and kind of brainstorm what you've been thinking that you want out of 2015. I'm so excited about this year, and there's some great things I wanna do for you this year. And if you've seen any of my videos or my other programs, if you're involved in any of my programs, you know that I'm really a big, I prioritize peak performance. And if we can take this level of high performance and peak performance and integrate it into our practice, you know, we're gonna get some great results. So let's just get right into it. I don't wanna get too sidetracked. Here are the 5 key perspectives you gotta have for 2015 to make your dreams soar and to really get the most out of this year. So let's dive into it. The first one starts with an A, if you haven't noticed, is this myth of an autopilot type of situation, okay? So I'm gonna say the autopilot myth. Here's what I mean by that. The autopilot myth essentially is, you know, you may think that your practice can run on autopilot. You may think that, you know, you can hire an associate or you can get the right people in place and all of a sudden everything's on autopilot and you don't have to do much with that. You know what? That is a great philosophy, and it's a really idealistic way of looking at it, but I hate to say that it's not realistic, but it's just not the most, I guess, value-added mindset to give anything. Because most great things are not on autopilot, even if they may seem that way. You know, to shoot this video, I had to kind of think about what I wanted to tell you. I had to kind of give you a framework for it and give myself an idea on how to organize my thoughts so that way I can convey this to you. So most things in general are not on autopilot. You know, it's either if something's not growing, it's probably withering away. There's no plateaus in life, right? So if it's your practice and you're thinking, man, you know what, I'm just cruising along, this is what we do every day. Think about it this way. If you are hitting the autopilot button in your practice, your relationship, your family life, with your patients, slowly that part of your life or that part of your year is going to be dwindling away. So think about all the things that you are trying to hit the autopilot button on, because there is no such thing as an autopilot button. You got to have a consistent daily focus with some of these things. And that's what you should demand out of yourself. That focus that's there every day, and that's fueling you, but also giving the world some value out of what you want to do, right? So for instance, with your business, in your practice, you may think, okay, I have the same team and I have the same patients and we're doing the same things with the same systems. Well, if you're doing the same thing all the time, you're probably going to get the same result as you've always gotten. And if you're not growing that element of your practice, slowly the competition is going to start catching up to you and will start dwindling you down. Give you an example. You should be learning how to market your business more effectively online. You should be learning how to position yourself, adding value to your patients and building those relationships, right? So get rid of this autopilot myth that's in your mind, you know, that, you know, things can be on autopilot. Most things require daily and consistent focus, right? Second, look at all of the enablers in your life, okay? Enablers. So I'm going to explain what that means. Enablers The enablers are things that are enabling you from not getting your dreams, okay? All the things in your life that you're doing that is enabling you from not achieving your dreams, okay? What are some of the things that you're doing on a daily basis that don't let you succeed? Those things are important. Aside from just the stuff that you can do on a daily basis that makes you, go to the next level, what are some of the things that you're doing that don't really get you anywhere? I'll give you an example. Let's say you're being very loose about your sleeping schedules. Maybe you're getting to bed super late and that way you can't wake up super early. Or maybe you're just skipping breakfast because you're in a rush all the time. Perhaps you just don't have enough time to dedicate with your team and you're just not there with them, or you're not present. You don't show them that you care. You don't really try to connect with them. Maybe some of those things that you're doing on a daily basis, those attitudes that you have, are not enabling you to move forward. These things are negative enablers, right? Things that are really making it so that you're in your lifestyle that you can't really move forward. Think about those things. What are those things? Is it just a matter of, I just want to get out of work by 4 o'clock, and this idea of getting out of work by 4 is, I need to get out so I'm not too stressed, and because of that, I'm not going to see that extra patient who needs that crown, right? So some of these things are in your lifestyle. They're not making it so that way you can move ahead, and you got to kind of sit down and brainstorm. What are your enablers that are preventing you from moving ahead in your life? I'll give you an example. One of the challenges I've always had is, I gave you that first example, which is getting a consistent sleeping schedule. It's really easy for me to stay up super late, and then, if I want to wake up early, sometimes I miss the mark there. Whereas when I get into this flow of getting scheduled about my sleeping schedule, saying, hey, I'm going to bed at 10 p.m. and I will be up at 5 or 6 a.m. If I do that consistently, that's going to enable me to really do some great things in my day. But, if I don't do that, then that lack of discipline there is going to enable me from not reaching my goals. So what are some of the enablers that are avoiding accomplishing your dreams? What are some of those things that you're doing that make it so that you're not winning on your daily basis, right? Think of those things and write those down so that way you can eliminate those things for 2015. Third, the gray zone, okay? I want to talk to you about the gray zone. The gray zone is this is super important, you guys. The gray zone essentially is that place in your life that you have on a consistent basis that you're living in the gray. There is no juice in the gray. There's no value in the gray. The gray is not where you move forward from. It's a place where you're stuck. It's like no man's land. So what are some of those things in your life, or what are some of those decisions in your life, I shall say, that are preventing you from moving forward? Like, maybe you have the decision in your practice that you want to raise your fees, but you haven't really done that yet. You're just thinking, okay, I need to raise my fees. I haven't done it. I may lose the patients. And you've been stuck in this area where you're like, wow, you're thinking of this, but you haven't really taken the action. So I'm calling this year the year that you actually take that action and make that decision and make it go. Because nothing moves forward without decisions, right? And if you're living in the gray, there is no juice in the gray. We've all been there. We've all been in that gray zone where we're kind of thinking of doing something and we don't quite do it, and it goes on forever, like years. So this year, get yourself out of the gray zone. Make that decision. And you know what? I'll give you this. Let's just say it's a wrong decision. Guess what? You're going to learn and you're going to get out of it. And when you do get out of it, you're going to move yourself into the right direction. So really, I don't think there is any wrong decisions you can make, especially when you're in the gray. Make a decision, move forward, commit to it, and burn the bridges. Move ahead. Everybody knows that famous quote. If you want to claim the island, burn the boats, right? So if you want to take over something, make it so that way there's no other option to go back, right? And that way your commitment will get you to where you want to be. That's getting yourself out of the gray zone. You know, I'll give you an example. You know, in our practice too. You know, I've had in the past, not right now, but way in the past, I've had team members that I wasn't certain about, that I didn't feel as 100% confident with. And I was just tinkering whether, should I transition them out of the office? Should I keep them in? Should I change their roles? And that time that I was in the gray was a total waste of time, because when you make some of those decisions, even if they're tough, guess what? The world moves forward with you. Things kind of go play into a sense of progress, and you move ahead without being stagnated, okay? So that's number 3, the gray zone. Get yourself out of the gray zone, make some decisions. Number 4, here's the big one, okay? Consistency, okay? Consistency. Anything that's great is worth doing more than once. Think of that. Anything that's great is worth doing more than once. If you want to start a healthy routine with going to the gym, or exercising every morning, or going on a run, or going for a daily walk, those are some great things. But it's useless to do that just once. So anything that's great is worth doing more than once, and the same thing can apply on your business. Same thing can apply on your practice with your patients. If you are going to email or call your patients after a procedure, and you do it that one day, and when you go back to work on, you know, Monday, it's wonderful. That's awesome to do. But guess what? It's not going to make a difference unless you do it consistently through the work of time. You know, one of my mentors, Tony Robbins, once I read from one of his books, it says, ordinary things consistently done produce extraordinary results. And this could not be any truer. I mean, if you do those little things consistently, they will stack up on themselves, and you're going to get some massive results through time, right? So just those tiny things, ordinary things that you can do every day, you can get some massive results. But here's the thing. If you have thought of something that you want to tackle this year, or you want to start doing this year, remember this perspective. If you don't do that thing consistently, you're not going to get anywhere with it. So whatever new agenda that you formulated for this year, if you don't also have the perspective in mind that I need to do this consistently, and I need to stick to this on a daily practice, and I'm committed to that, then if you don't do that, you're not going to move anything forward. And that new thing that you added is not going to give you any benefit. So let's say you want to take some video testimonials for patients. You take one testimonial, you take a second one, but then you fizzle out and you say, hey, you know what? I don't need to take any more testimonials. That's it. That's not going to give you the value that you could get is if you do maybe one a week. Create a routine for yourself. Do it once a month or once a week. Do a routine, but stick with it. Consistency breeds achievements, okay? So if you want to achieve this year, and if you want to take your dreams and make them a reality, then you got to be consistent on what you're going to start this year. So let's do that together, okay? Number five, this is the one huge thing that I don't always see people prioritize in their life. You know, it gets to the beginning of the year, or they want to start something new, or they have these ideas. They don't do this. And I don't want you to fall prey to this, because you're now going to have the perspective of doing this and making sure you do this consistently. And that is making time for your dreams. Okay? Making time for dreams. I'll put that in there. Most of the time, people have some great ideas and they just don't make the time for them. You see, I believe many people have wonderful ideas. A lot of ideas are pretty good. The problem is people just don't create the time to make those ideas and dreams come true. And I want you to be different. I know you're going to be different, and I know you're going to, 2015, I know you're going to create that time for yourself to work on your dreams, right? Make it so you do this on a consistent basis with the routine. So I'll give you an example. If you wanted to, let's take that example of calling your patient on the following day. Well, if that's part of your agenda for taking your practice to the next level, then you're going to consistently make the time to fulfill that dream, right? Let's say you want to take a trip to the Amazon or the Bahamas or the Caribbean. You're going to actually sit down, look at your schedule and say, I am taking this week of time in July, I'm going to block it off, and I am going to go to Costa Rica or Jamaica, or wherever you want to go, or Hawaii. But make the time for your dreams, because your dreams are just not going to fall into your lap, right? Most of the time, your dreams start to happen when you're really moving forward, where everything in your life is preventing you from moving forward because you're so busy and life hasn't given you an opportunity to move forward. But sit down on a daily basis and create either 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever you can do, a little bit that you can do every single day to create some time for your dreams. You know, if you're going to call that patient, make sure it's 9 to 10 or 9:30 to 10 a.m. Whatever it is, put it down, create some time for it so you can focus on your dreams. If you don't create time for your dreams, I'll guarantee you this, the world will not create the time for you. If you don't create it, the world's not going to create the time for you. So make sure you create time for your dreams. That's what's really going to take your life and move it to the next level. That's what's going to make you feel fulfilled, okay? It's not just about achieving, it's also about that sense of fulfillment and that sense of, you know what? Wow, I feel enriched that I actually did these things with myself this year. I actually changed a lot of my perspectives this year so I could achieve something out there. Remember, all achievement out there doesn't start out there. It starts in here, right? So these 5 key perspectives, making sure that you're not falling into the trap of the autopilot myth, thinking that, oh, something can be done a few times and then it's on autopilot. Nope. You got to focus on it daily, and you got to focus on it consistently, and making sure that you are eliminating the enablers that prevent you from doing something good in your life. There are things that are in your life that are preventing you from doing something great in your life. What are those enablers? Those things that are enabling the negative. You know, what are the things that are preventing you from doing things that are great in your life, you know? So eliminate those. It's almost like a double negative, right? The gray zone. Get out of the gray zone. After you identify, hey, these are the things that are enabling me to stay up late, or these are things that are enabling me to be, you know, frustrated with some aspect of my business. After you identify those things, then get out of the gray zone and make some decisions and say, hey, look, I'm done with this. No more. I'm going to get out of this. I'm making a decision. I'm not living in the gray, because there is no what? Juice in the gray. Finally, consistency. Do the things you want to do consistently. Anything great, it's worth doing more than once. Little things, consistently done, big results, right? Finally, create time for your dreams. Block out that time specifically just for your dreams on a daily basis, and you will see all these 5 key perspectives. If you infuse these things into your goals and your agendas for 2015, you will see that at the end of this year, you're going to be in a totally different place, not only out there, but more importantly, in here. And I want to share that journey with you. So stay tuned. I'm going to shoot some more videos just like this with you. If you like what you saw, leave me a comment below. And let's go out and crush this year. Let's make it happen. I'm so excited about 2015. Let's do it together. Stay in touch, and I'll see you in the next video.